Yesterday, the United States hit a grim milestone in the fight against coronavirus when it surpassed 1 million confirmed cases and more than 58,000 deaths, which is now more than the total number of Americans who died in Vietnam. And these numbers are a long way from late February. Like, you remember when Trump said America's coronavirus cases would go down from 15 to 0 in a couple of days. In fact, Trump was asked yesterday how he squares that comment with our current reality, and this is what he said.
Back in late February, you predicted that the number of cases would go down to 0. How did we get from your prediction of 0 to 1 million?
Well, it will go down to 0 ultimately. And you have to understand, when it comes to cases, we do much more testing than anybody else. We're going to show more cases because we're doing much, much more testing, double anybody else. And it will be at the appropriate time, it will be down to 0, like we said.
You see, this is what happens when you elect a real estate developer as a president. Their timelines are always going to be BS. You said my bathroom would be done in a month. Yeah, February in 2024 is a month. And I don't know why you're complaining. You still got the kitchen sink. It's like a bathroom, but with dishes. Oh, and by the way, what did Trump mean when he said corona cases will go down to 0 at the appropriate time? How is now not the appropriate time? Like, what does that mean? Trump makes it sound like he's holding out for the right moment to stop coronavirus. Not yet, not yet. In other news, even after the coronavirus is over, its secondary effects could stretch far out into the future. Because you see, health experts are now warning that because parents aren't able to go to the doctor, many children are now falling behind in their vaccinations. And this is for things like measles and whooping cough. And you know, whooping cough is one of those diseases that sounds more fun than it is. Whoop, whoop! The doctor says I have a month to live. And this is such a shitty thing to realize. Because of coronavirus, we could get measles and whooping cough. Basically, coronavirus is that one friend who distracts the bouncer so that the rest of its boys can sneak into the club. And if these other diseases come back, that means 2 of the most vulnerable populations will be the elderly and children, which would be terrible, because then we'd have to quarantine them together. And then we'd have all these 5-year-olds coming out of lockdown with stories about World War II and quasi-racist opinions about Italians. I heard that they eat pasta because of... And finally, the Academy Awards has announced that for this year only, because of the coronavirus, movies will not have to be shown in theaters in order to be eligible to win an Oscar. They still have to be white though, because I mean, come on, this is Corona, not the end of the world. Also, the Academy is going to update the Oscar statue itself to better reflect this past year. And you know, if you ask me, the Academy had no choice but to do this. I mean, Corona has shut everything down. Like, there's no movies coming out. So if they didn't include streaming, then which movie gets an Oscar nomination? What? It's just like Sonic the Hedgehog. That movie would win everything by default. And the best supporting actor goes to the Golden Rings from Sonic. Actually, you know what the Oscars should do? Instead of like doing like a whole award ceremony for movies that nobody really watched, why don't they just make an Oscars for the greatest movies of all time? Think about it. You just take every movie that's ever been made and we do it as like a mega tournament. The All-Star Oscars. Best movie of the 90s. Best movie of the 2000s, greatest actor of all time. Because then it'll be tough. I would watch that Oscars. All my favorite movies, you got to compare them. Who wins, The Godfather or Cool Runnings? Whew, that's tough. And personally, I'm super excited for this news. Because for decades, winning an Oscar has been too hard. You need a giant crew. You need a massive marketing budget. You got to convince Meryl Streep to be in your movie. But now, anyone can make an Oscar-winning movie. Which is exactly what Desi Lydic did.
The Daily Show presents One Woman's Dream.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bake sourdough.
And her journey to reach it.
I don't have a Dutch oven. Why don't I have a Dutch oven?
The challenges she overcame.
You'll never bake a good sourdough.
You're a failure, just like your mother.
Shut up! Shut up! I'll show you all!
In a world falling apart.
I can't wait a week for Instacart. I need that yeast now!
This summer, see the movie critics say is legally allowed to win an Oscar. The Rise.